This shit is crazy.
What's good, everybody? Welcome back to another one. I appreciate you tuning into the podcast. This one's going to be a little different. It's going to be me, solo dolo. This is the most uncomfortable I think I've been out of all the podcasts. It's something about sitting here talking to a camera that it's weird. Like, I feel like I'm going to have to look around, look at all the stuff going on in my room instead of just staring right at the camera because it just feels so weird. But for today, I decided to reach out to friends and family and have them ask me questions that they would want to be asked on the pod. And so we're just going to go through it like that. It's going to I feel like it's going to end up looking more like a YouTube video than a podcast, but it is a podcast. I hope that I could give my real opinions, my real thoughts, and then like real life experiences. And I hope it sits well for somebody. So yeah, let's get into it. These are going to be so out of order because, I don't know, it's chaotic that way, and I don't know, I'm a little chaotic, so I'm going to just stick with it. So I'm going to just go with the first one that I see here is most influential Colorado-born athlete that comes to mind and why. Honestly, I started thinking about, like, the first person that came to mind is CMC, Christian McCaffrey. I think growing up, just knowing that, like, I played against his brothers in high school and just knowing that name and knowing how much wealth is behind that name, how much athleticism is behind that name, and to see him go off and have a successful career, that's honestly the person I would say. You do a little research, you see a lot of other athletes. I think I saw Jack Dempsey. I might messed up his name or something. I saw him. Chauncey Billups, of course. I saw him. I've seen him at basketball tournaments, like AAU basketball tournaments. He has like his own AAU team. Like, he's well known within the Colorado space. But honestly, for me, just because I love the game of football and all the things, I would probably say CMC. I think that he's just had the most impact, in my opinion, on my life and my time. All right, let's get into another one. To move around a little bit. What is your goal for your podcast, and how do you want it to impact people? My goal for this podcast is, one, it for sure helps me with the capstone. It helps me just in my life, gives me meaning outside of just what I could be doing is sitting here watching TV instead of talking to a camera. I believe it gives me an extra thing to do, but on top of that, the impact of people, I want to spark conversation with people. I want people to have conversations with each other. I'd love to say everyone should go to therapy, but I feel like if you don't want to go to therapy, and for everyone can do it starts with a conversation. And I think everyone should be having these conversations. Every conversation that I've had in the past few podcasts is a conversation. And so I just want it to impact people, to spark conversations within their households, with their friends, with their family, with their peers, their mentor, no matter who it is. I want these conversations to be sparked because I feel the importance of having conversation with people is important. I probably said that like a billion times in that long spiel, but I want to have an impact on one person. I've been saying this to everybody in the way I explain this podcast. I feel like having conversation impact on one person makes me feel like I've just done a lot. Like, I feel like I've landed on the moon when I impact one person, and one person's telling me, wow, like that hit different for me, and like all the things. So that's realistically, like, in a very crazy, rambling way, that is what my goal is for the podcast and my impact on people. Um, I guess I'll just hop into this one. I think this one's good too. What is your biggest goal in life? Honestly, it's gonna sound very simple, but I want to be the best version of myself that I can be. I think that's the biggest life that I have in like. I want to be the best man I can be. I want to be the man my mom raised me to be, the man that my sister could see in me, the man that my friends need me to be from time to time. I just want to be be the best version of myself I can, and I think I've evolved through a lot of different things in my life, and I saw a few questions around that, so I'll kind of wait to talk about it. But through all my trials and all those steps, and I'm going to keep having those, I just want to be the best version of myself I can be, and that's my biggest life goal. And I know that's very broad, but that's just what I've been trying to achieve step by step. Let's see. What is your biggest fear and why? So I'm going to just say two, because they're both equally. One's a little goofier than the other. The first one I'll say is I'm afraid of snakes. So whatever arachnophobia is for snakes, that's what I got. I probably should do research on that with as many times as it is. I'm terrified of them. I don't care if they're like the little thing, like the little gardeners, or like the pet snakes people have. Like even as a kid, like I couldn't sleep at night if I saw one, even if it was on a movie. Like Harry Potter still messes me up, even though like I love those movies, but it still messes me up. Like I see one now and I have a hard time falling asleep. Like that's just I don't play with them things at all. Not even a lick, not even an ounce, not at all. But my second biggest fear, which is probably gonna hit different, it's gonna hit a little hard. So warning. My second thing is not living long. My sister passed away at like 26, I believe. Don't quote me on that. Family, you'll correct me on that, but I'll just say 26 for the matter of this. But just seeing how young her life, and then having my mom talked about it a little bit in my other episode of my sister Naya passing away at birth, and that whole thing, and just being the only child left living out of my parents' 3 children, it just has like a lot of weight on me. It's not something I try to think about all the time, but sometimes when you're caught up in the loneliness, it comes to your mind. And so I think one of my biggest fears outside of the snake thing is just not being able to live a long life. And I try not to think about it too much. I try not to, because you got to keep living. You got to live your life to the fullest. I was just having a conversation with a friend the other day of, you hear a lot of people when they pass away young is that they either lived their life to the fullest or they didn't live their life enough. And so I've been trying to have the mindset where I'm in between because of my fear. And so I want to live in between because I want to go out and I want to do a whole bunch of stuff. But at the same time, I'm a homebody. That's just who I am. And so I want to chill at home. So I want the in between because I want to have the mindset that I will live a long and full life. And that's why I want to live in between. That's just where I've gone with it. But yeah, those are my 2 fears. Let's get into another one. Let's get into a fun one. So who would be your dream guest? My dream guest in a perfect world. I'm going to give one living and one passed away. So passed away, I would have loved to have a podcast with Chadwick Boseman. You can't see, is he in one of these? Oh yeah, he's in this one. But I have a Black Panther tattoo. Everyone knows how much I love Black Panther. Black Panther right there, that's just my thing. I love I loved everything that he did within the Black Panther. I loved the 42 movie, man. Like, he portrayed that role so well. I loved the determination that people said he had. I loved all the different things. But staying on that, looking to the living, honestly, right now, like, some people might laugh, but I would love to have Ryan Coogler or Michael B on a podcast. I just feel like I want to talk to people that look like me, that we can have the greatest conversation. Like, I see him, I watch this influencer, talks a lot about like Marvel and all the other things, Straw Hat Goofy. I'd even love talking to him, but just watching his conversations with Ryan and just sparks that, like, man, I feel like I could just have like a great real life conversation to him and have like learned so much from that. And so honestly, those would be my two, or obviously I said three because of Straw Hat, but hey, check him out. I like him a lot. Let's get into another one. What's your most memorable moment / experience in life, and what song you would pick for the moment theme song? I would probably say I have a lot of memorable moments, but I don't know. I want to go with this one. I want to go with the sports one. I remember in Little League, so I was on onside kick return or whatever it's called at the time. So I was getting ready. I was in the front row. No one told me anything. Like, I had never done that before. I think I was in sixth or seventh grade or something like that. And no one told me. Like, I didn't know. I didn't have high IQ then, and so they kicked it at me. I grabbed the ball and I just ran and I scored. That was like my first ever touchdown as a youth athlete. Probably the first, no, in my life, that was my first touchdown. And so picking up that ball and running to the end zone, I literally could hear the Man by Aloe Black playing in my head. And that's honestly my theme song for life. If I could say any song is my favorite song of all time, it might be that song, just because of so many different life experiences I've had. But just in that moment, I just remember, like, I'm the man, I'm the man, I'm the man. Like, just playing in my head when I was sitting there. And so just even with that was just such a great moment. And so that's one of my most memorable moments. I could tell you a lot of different ones, like especially with Jordan, the one that asked this question. My first memorable moment with him was when I met him for the first time when I was in second grade. We had just moved into the neighborhood and we were still moving. And I had like another family friend there, and we were all playing tag in the neighborhood. I just met all the neighborhood kids, and we were playing tag. And my neighbor had this like oil patch because his car was leaking, like his old Jeep was leaking. And I just remember running, and I just slipped, covered in oil. And that was like my first interaction with Jordan and them. And that moment right there, I don't really know what song I would put to it. I don't know. I don't think I could really put a song to that moment, but just right there, I was just like, that moment was like the bond I made, which like Jordan, Taylor, the rest of the Smith family are like family to me, and so like just that moment was such a important moment for me in life because I knew I was making a lifelong connection by slipping in oil. I still remember going to tell my mom, and my mom was like, "What happened to you?" It just happened that way. Let me ask this one, and he asked me to shout him out personally, Mason. What would you change from the past that made you who you are today? And I was just talking about this with my friend Ryder, and so honestly, I wish I could change the mindset I have now. I look back to how I was in high school, and obviously I had a lot of life experiences, but I tried to distract myself from all that, and I'd be caught up in drama and try to be everyone's friend. I was the hug guy. I was the honestly, within sports, I was the guy um, that like I don't feel like I took sports as seriously, which I did, but I didn't. Like I feel like I would have shaken off like that. I don't know what the word is, but I wish I would have shaken off, like was more mature when it came to sports, and obviously that comes later in life. But so I thought about that question very hard, and I was talking about it with my friend Ryder, like I said, and I was like, I kind of wish I could change, some of the actions I had, some of the like the way I treated people at times, whether it was like for drama reasons or just me being dumb, whatever it is. And so I feel like I've changed a lot, which you can ask a lot of people. I can't even, I'm so different from how I used to be, I guess, in that high school setting and even like younger than that. And all that to say is, I wish I could change how I was towards people, and I would love to apologize 1,000 times. It's not like I did anything bad. I guess it's just me overthinking about things. I wish things were a little different, but at the same time, I had to go through all those life experiences to get to where I am today. I had to have heartbreak. I had to have that immaturity that I had at a young age, and obviously I'm still a little immature. Like I still gotta keep maturing. I gotta keep growing and stuff. But I just know that I'm not the person that I used to be, and so I kind of wish I had this mindset in the past. But at the same time, I had to go through all those life experiences to get to where I am today, and so so realistically, I wouldn't change anything, but you still think about it. Okay, so I'm gonna ask So I got two questions from my parents. My mom. I'll start with my mom. She said, "How do you stay grounded or keep from getting stuck in loneliness, being away from home and your friends, and you spend a lot of time alone?" Honestly, it's just staying connected with people. I've said this a billion times. My biggest thing is FaceTime. A lot of people hate it, but for me, that's just always been my thing. I know that I can FaceTime, I can call somebody at any time, just to have like a face to face conversation, even though not with them. Like my mom FaceTimes me all the time now. I FaceTime a lot of my different friends. Um, Also playing the game with the friend, like playing 2K recently with all my friends and being talk to them, having conversations with them. Another thing is for me, I've always found this as an escape for me is television and movies. Um, just having like movie TV show days where I don't leave the house just to chill out and relax and kind of get in the zone of watching something and enjoying some fiction, some fantasy, enjoying like something that's out of my current situation in my real life. And I've made some cool friends here at school, and so from time to that time, I'll reach out to them. I'll hang out with them, um, and then it's not like I'm far, far from home. I'm only an hour away from home, but even that hour, it's just like sometimes I could drive home, but other times like I just want to chill. I want to hang out. I'm fortunate enough to have a great job where I'm around people and I get to do a lot of cool things, especially being a GA at the wellness center. And so, I really do get a lot of my people time out the way. It's just battling with, it's weird. I lived with four other people for 3 years before I came and lived by myself. And so, I love that time and I'll never take away from that time because those, like I said, it's experiences that help me become who I am. And some of those people helped me get out of a terrible time, a hard time in my life. Not terrible, but hard time in my life, a hard trial that I had to go through and overcome. But yeah, it was just I was always around people. Like I go home and I had someone to talk to, and so living by myself, it's much different now than how like it used to be. But I've gotten to a stage now where I don't want a roommate just to have a roommate, and so I think I whenever I'm fortunate enough, I would just love to have a partner, like a great girlfriend that can help me. Like I suck at cooking, but I would love for someone that could cook or just even coach me up on how to cook. I've been going to the cooking classes and stuff now to learn some things, but I just love to have like a great partner in crime, honestly, just to go through life with starting now, and I think that's just where I am. Like I love my independence. I love all of it. Being able to do what I want when I want sometimes, and even now not having a girlfriend, it's been nice because I get to spend like my money on comic books and other stuff that I get to appreciate now. But that's just kind of where I am now. It's either I want to live by myself, by myself. Option B is when I graduate, probably go home live with my mom. But that's just been how it is. That's even how it is when I go home on breaks. Or option C, um, be fortunate enough to have a great partner in crime and start living life with them and going through those. So yeah, um, I don't. Yeah, I got very sidetracked, but yeah. So my dad asked me this very important question, and so some of you are gonna be like, "Oh," but I'm gonna answer this as truthfully as I can. And he asked me how, if it did, me leaving and getting divorced from your mom affect where you thought your life would be this stage. I truthfully believe that if I had my dad in my life, that my life would have been much different. Having, especially going through sports, having a man in my life to tell me that I need to grow up, step up, in a sense, but having that dependency of having your father there is like important. Like I'm trying to figure out the best way to explain that. When you're at a football game and you have your dad on your butt and like someone that's played the sport, and so like my dad was a prime time athlete back in Canton, Ohio, and so all I hear about his time there is like, oh my gosh, like your dad was a star athlete, all that. And so if I would have had him there for sports, like that would have been amazing. And so even even outside of the sports realm, having a father there just would have been so much important to me, and um, just even just seeing my mom happy. Obviously, everything went the way it went, but just having two parents instead of one, and seeing the struggle of one, just I think that would have changed where I am in life. Yeah, just had I feel like that's just something so huge. I also I don't know. It's weird because obviously like after he left, I had to step up and I had to be more of a man, and I couldn't be getting in trouble or I couldn't be doing this or that. But I think just still having my dad there would have just been so important for me in my life. I know I was rambling, and I hopefully it made sense to you and to my dad who will be watching and stuff. But you know, at the end of the day, we can't do too much about the past, and I believe that our relationship is growing, and that's all we can do. I obviously, like in the past, I had a lot of resentment and anger towards all that. Um, but at the end of the day, we can't control what happened, um, because it's over. It happened. It's done. And so all we can do is look to the future and what relationship we want to build in the future. Okay. Jeez. Um, All right, let's go with a more fun question because that was intense and I feel like I rambled that. Um, what is the best Halloween costume you've worn? A random one, but a good one. Honestly, my first thought that came to my head, if you guys know who Blade is, my mom had this like black trench coat or whatever. And so I basically just dressed up as Blade. And I still remember when, like, not a whole lot of people knew who that was then. And so the people that did realize who that was, I felt so cool. I'm not gonna lie. Like, Blade is such a cool character. Like, he's so slept on. He's, yeah, I don't want to even mess up his origin, but look up Blade, do a little research, go watch the Wesley Snipes movies. At some point, people were telling me that I look like him, like even outside of that costume. But yeah, I think Blade is such a cool character. Watch the movies, read the comics, all the stuff. Mm, 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 mm. What is one reason why you are proud of yourself? This right here. Um, Going through so many different moments, so many different challenges within myself, and being able to sit here and look at a camera and talk about it is something I'm so proud of myself for. Being in a stage where I'm getting my master's, where I was conflicted on whether I wanted to join the Air Force or not, and now I'm where I am, and being the person that I grew to be now, that is just something I've been so proud of myself, and realizing that I used to never be so proud of the small things I accomplished. Like this year, I've read 2 books already, and I'm on my third. Like I ain't done that. Let's be real. I'm be so real. Like I didn't do that. I've used my reading disability as a crutch on a reason not to do it. Like honestly, getting into manga, reading comics, now reading books. That's just like something that I used to be like, I got a reading disability. I'm not gonna do that. Like, I'm not gonna put myself in that stage where I'm gonna sit here and try to read books. Like, nah, I'm just gonna have a hard time. And so getting through that is just something that like wow, like I'm amazed that I was able to do, and something that I'm so proud of myself for, and just figuring out the person I want to be. Mm-mm-mm. If you could live a legacy, what would it be? If I could leave a legacy, what would it be? Honestly, I just want to leave the legacy of people just having conversations and sitting down and having fun, good, just real conversations. Like, just being so good to other people and treating people well and just leaving like a small torch to that. Whether it's in my podcast, whether it's through the work I do in the future, whether it's just me having conversation with people now, just talking to friends, family, strangers, and stuff. Just like one of the things that I've talked about multiple times is one of the characteristics of me is that I feel like anybody, whether it's stranger or non-stranger, that they feel they can come to me and talk to me about anything. And so I don't know why that is. That's just, I guess, the personality I come off or bring off to people or whatever, however it's said. And so just being able to tell people that, like, you can have these real conversations, whether you're just sitting here talking about, like, I got Power Ranger Funko Pops right here. If I could sit here and talk to somebody about Power Rangers, like, sick. If I could sit here and talk to people about like the real struggles and the trials and stuff that I've gone through, great. If I can have conversations about the weather outside, great. And I just want people to have conversations, and I think if that's the legacy that I can leave for people, that is just amazing. And that's just yeah, that's what I would love to leave. How is your mental health? My mental health, honestly, I'm in a good place. I would say, like, if someone would ask me, "Oh, like, how are you doing?" I'd say I'm all right. Um, I'm proud of myself for all the accomplishments and stuff that I keep doing, all the opportunities that I keep going forward, and all the different things. I've been struggling a little bit. When I spend a lot of time here in my apartment and doing nothing and just getting caught up in my own head, I get sad and I get lonely. Like I said, like a lot of my friends are an hour away. My mom's an hour away, and I got family and stuff states away. And obviously, I'm not in a place where I have a girlfriend and stuff like that. But I know it's coming, and so. But when you do get caught up in that, then you just get kind of swallowed by the loneliness a little bit, and that kind of goes into the conversation that the question my mom asked earlier that I talked about. So I struggle with that sometimes. But I honestly I find ways to get out of it, and so my mental health is in a good place because I'm able to get out of it. I'm able to golf. I'm able to find TV shows that I can't wait to not talk about it. Like me and Ryder have a pre Daredevil Born Again talk before the episode comes out, and then a post Daredevil Born Again conversation. And so, like, I'm finding ways to communicate with my people. I'm finding ways to get out of my funk. I constantly remind myself it's not going to happen today, but it will happen. And I just got to be patient. We talk a lot about patience and getting to the places we want to be. I'm trying to find ways. I haven't been in a place where I want to go to church, but I have found Social Dallas. It's on YouTube. They do post. It's an actual church, but they post their sermons and stuff like that on YouTube. And so I try to watch that once a week. I'm trying to build those relationships through that, like build up my relationship with God and stuff through that. Just finding ways to be patient but grow myself in other ways for the things that I can control, because you can't control the uncontrollable. Yes. Broadly, yeah, that's kind of, yeah. What does a day in the life of Darius look like? So today it was a lot of laying in bed and building up the courage and the motivation to sit here and talk in front of a camera. Even right now, I don't even know how this is going to end up looking. I feel like this is a lot of me rambling. But it's authentic, it's real, and I'm gonna try not to cut any of it. I'm gonna just let it flow as how it flows. So I think this is just natural. But that's just, and then after this, I'll probably just chill out, watch TV, be on the phone. That's my usual on like the weekends. A weekday, it's me waking up at whatever time that is necessary for the day, going to my GA spot at the wellness center, doing what I need to do there, building connections and just checking in on people and just having conversations with people at work, being a part of great things. Like this week we had the Unity Project where we had 31 polls, and each poll represented a different identity, and then you wrap yarn around it, and we had probably, I'm guessing, like 300 people or maybe less or something like that do it, and then it becomes like this big like spider web art looking thing. You could look it up. It's on the UCCS Wellness Center page. Shout out to them. If you can travel to any TV show or movie universe and be any character you want, who are you? Where are you going? And how are you going to better the plot of the movie or show? Listen, there's a lot of worlds I don't know if I really want to live in. Like, I think Star Wars would be so cool to live in, but at the same time, not really. Um, I think that would be so crazy. Living in the Marvel universe, they just got blipped. Like that's crazy too. And then they came back some years later. Like that's chaotic. I'm trying to think what else. DC? Nah. Apocalypse comes, all the flashpoints and all that. Yeah, nah. The book I'm reading, Red Rising, definitely not. Honestly, I'm trying to think. Some animes I couldn't even do it. I mean, One Piece would be kind of cool. But if I had to say, this is gonna sound so nerdy, but I don't care because I am who I am. I would love to be a Power Ranger. I'm gonna say it. I'd say it as a kid. If I could live any world, I mean, in that world, it's me being a Power Ranger, which hopefully I'm the red one or even the cool six one. Um, but we're fighting to save the world, um, all the time. But at the same time, we have never seen like I'm obviously like when I'm a Power Ranger, I'm part of the team fighting against like anything crazy happening. But we haven't seen like people on multiple planets like starving or empire versus all that. So like we see in Star Wars or like we ain't seen no blip or nothing or Thanos coming to a planet or whatever they about to do with Doctor Doom and all that stuff about to happen. Nah, we ain't seen that in Power Rangers. Uh like yeah, nah, we ain't seen a lot of the things that happen in like some of these other places in Power Rangers. So for sure, I'm gonna live in a Power Ranger world. I'm gonna be either the Red or the Sixth Ranger, and to how she said to better the plot. If I'm the leader, we gonna be him. That's all I can say. I'm gonna make some stuff happen. So yeah, that's my answer. Mm, it's so hard because I feel like I've answered a lot of these things in my rambling. Let me just make sure no one else texted me a question I forgot. Um, let's see. Let's see. Let me make a phone call real quick. Or I'm gonna cut this out and I'm gonna get ego. What up, dude?
What up? We going to FK?
Alright, I got a quick question. You're on the podcast right now. I'm recording a video right now.
Do you have the key? You go. I'm listening. You did?
You hear me?
Okay, I'm listening. You're
You're
recording the podcast
right now. Yeah.
Currently?
Yep.
I'm in it?
You're in it right now. Say hi to Kirsha. So ask your question right now, cause I can't even. Yeah.
Okay, so my question is why, or not why, what separates people who grow naturally throughout experiences in lives versus people who do internal work for personal growth? Okay, so is it just that some people were born with the drive to grow, or is it that like life experiences cause people to do the internal work to grow?
Okay, what do you think?
I feel like it's a bit of both, to be honest.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say.
It's a terrible time.
Well, I'm gonna let you go and I'm gonna answer the question, but I appreciate it.
Okay, this is my best friend Darius. Everyone say hey.
All right, bro. You're cutting out, so I'm gonna go. Go on. Hopefully, I recorded that, but I was on the phone with Kirsha. Her question was, are people born with drive, or do life experiences create drive, internal drive? Honestly, I think it's a bit of both. I think some people are just natural hard workers, hustlers, all that stuff. Like, say, like my cousins and stuff, born hustlers. I think for me, I lean more towards I had to have life experiences to prove my drive and create drive. I think it's a little bit of both. I don't know. What would you guys say? Let me know in the comments. But yeah. But my camera keeps blinking multiple times, so I think I'm gonna wrap it up. I want to be able to do this again. There was a lot of rambling and stuff, me just talking crazy. But I appreciate y'all. Sorry, we had to switch to the phone. I don't know what's going on with the camera, but we're gonna keep pushing. Just gonna wrap things up here. I appreciate y'all tuning in. Please, please, please drop some comments in the below for different questions that y'all have. Maybe I'll be able to answer that in another one. I appreciate you tuning in. I appreciate everyone who sent me questions. I appreciate y'all, for real. But yeah, I'll catch y'all on the next one. I hope y'all keep tuning in. Much love. Gone. Man, that was crazy.
This shit is crazy.